Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is Jiunn Liu. How you doing, Jiunn?
Doing good.
So today we are talking about the AVO Syncro South America Ritmo Toro. Cigar is kind of a Toro Extra 6x54 ring gauge. Comes out of the OK Cigars factory in the Dominican Republic. The wrapper is from Ecuador, the binder is from Mexico, and the filler is a mix of Nicaraguan, Peru, Brazil, Honduras, and the Dominican Republic. Cigar is $11.90, and it was released in May of 2017. So with that out of the way, June, what was your pre-light experience like?
I rated the pre-light experience as good. So in terms of the look of the cigar, wrapper, medium brown wrapper shade, construction paper-like texture to it. Veins, well pressed, seems tight. Head finish off with a thick double cap. Smelling the wrapper, cedar barnyard, nosing the foot, white pepper, cedar mixed nuts, cold draw, primarily cedar and hay mixture. So good.
Yeah, I kind of dug the bands on this. The color mixture and just the tones of the color were pretty nice. So that was, it's a visual thing, but still it's nice to see. I got kind of a lightly sweet hay from the wrapper, and the foot was kind of a subtle barnyard and white pepper mix. Pre-light draw was kind of lightly sweet hay and some cardboard and kind of a mild spicy tingle on my lips. So take us through your flavor profile.
Upon just lighting this thing and giving that first purge and kind of drawing, I know it's smooth, right? Because I dab it off smooth, right? So very smooth flavors of hay, cedar, coffee, and I got this hint of this tart, like stone fruit characteristic to it. And then through the nose, elevated black pepper, tart stone fruits, very rich nuttiness. Finish, medium in length, and it's really clean. The finish is really clean with dried nuts, strength of body medium. Moving on to the second third. I kind of, I felt like the second third is kind of where the profile really hits its stride. So great, still smooth delivery of a very laundry list of flavors, honestly. So I got coffee, minerals, hay, bread, dried nuts, tart citrus, and a very balanced black pepper spice coming through. And then retrohaling, deepness in black pepper, tart citrus, dried nuts. Finish still medium in length, and it's really still clean, giving me minerals, balanced black pepper, and dried nuts. Strength of body doesn't change, it's still medium. Moving on to the final third, it's so smooth, and it's still a very delicious profile, but I felt like it loses out on some of the complexities of that second third. I mean, I probably named a shit ton of flavors the second third, so it lost some of that, but still very tasty. The profiles now, namely minerals, black pepper, hay, dried nuts. Strength moves slightly a bit above medium, and while the body still is at a consistent medium. So all in all, I enjoy this cigar.
Yeah, it started out with a smooth mixture of wood and subtle baking spice, and then after a half dozen draws or so, that baking spice wasn't so subtle anymore. Kind of took the lead over that wood note. 3/4 of an inch in, wood increases a little bit to even out with the baking spice, and then at an inch in, that wood gained a little bit of a smokiness to it, and the baking spice was easing up a little bit. Retrohale was providing a slightly creamy wood note, and as the third came to a close, that baking spice had dropped back considerably, and that smoky wood note was kind of the primary component. And strength level was kind of right at medium. In the second third, that smoky wood note was continuing on, a little bit of cream joined in with that. Still a little bit of baking spice in the background. A little further in, baking spice began to pick up again. Inch in, smoky wood and baking spice notes were pretty even. There's still a little bit of slight cream in the background. And as the third was wrapping up, that baking spice took a lead over the wood note, and strength had bumped up to be slightly above medium. Getting into the final third, baking spice, wood, cream, creating a really nice profile, mix of flavors there. Half inch in, that baking spice increased a little bit more while the some char joined that wood. An inch in, char continues to increase, kind of takes the lead while the baking spice was in the background. And retrohale was also kind of carrying that charred wood note. That's kind of how the cigar finished out, kind of maintaining that through the rest of it. And strength had actually bumped up to medium full in that final third. So take us through your construction.
Construction was a bit of a letdown on the burn department. So I rated it good, which is 2 notches below our perfect score. So, letdown in the sense of 2 touch-ups. just uneven burn the whole time. So it was, in terms of smoking it and being able to you know find the flavors and know the flavors, it wasn't an issue there. But nonetheless, it's a little annoying. So in terms of the draw, I thought it was perfect. So really good draw, decently good burn.
Yeah, for me, burn line was pretty straight through the first half, and then kind of a bit wavy in the second half. Ash held on in 1.25 inch increments. In regards to the draw, a little bit slightly tighter than I prefer, but I didn't feel like it caused any issues with the smoking experience, so I just gave it a very good. So, what were your overall thoughts on the cigar?
True to kind of that AVO flavor profile and just kind of like what Davidoff brings in general. It was really smooth, but it wasn't just like, this isn't an AVO that I know of the old days, right? When I first started smoking cigars, perhaps like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, where I kind of felt like AVO was just smooth and it was kind of flavorless. I thought the cigar had, it was also flavorful and smooth. So I really enjoyed it. I think that, by the looks of this year, Davidoff in general within that umbrella, minus the Camacho line, it's really hitting my palate. So I really liked it.
Yeah, cigar started out with kind of that mellow wood and baking spice mix, and kind of then increased in the fullness of flavors. Other than the ratios of the flavors, there wasn't really much in the way of transitions, but I mean that was okay because the flavor was good. Construction was also very good on the ones I smoked, so I didn't need to pay any attention to that. I think it's like you said. I think it's a nice offering in the AVO line, a little bit darker, a little bit fuller in flavor and strength, and if, like you were saying, you smoking some of the earlier ones, you may kind of have put off the brand just because it didn't produce enough flavor for you. It was more of kind of a mellow, smooth kind of cigar. This is not that. This is a little stronger, fuller flavors, and I think not transitions, but quite a bit of change up in how the flavors kind of made up. You get different ratios of that, so you get those kind of changes. So I think people really should give it a try. I definitely smoke more of these. I would kind of make it more of an evening kind of after dinner type cigar. It wouldn't be something I want to smoke maybe morning or first thing early afternoon, something like that. But I thought it was a good cigar. Getting into scoring, I give it a 6.57. You gave it a 7.32. How do you think that matches up with your experience?
It matches up well. I mean, so many of my scores thus far this year has been upper sixes, very low sevens, but this hit that 7.3, right? So, so what the story of that is within this year, anyways, is for me it means that the flavor profile is a notch above others that I've reviewed and smoked. So, I rated a very good on the second third of this cigar, which I mean it just doesn't really exist that much this year. So,
Yep.
So yeah, it's not just, hey, I liked it, go try one. It's no, I really do like it. I'll smoke multiples.
Yep. Yeah, I think my score matches up well. I mean, I gave it good to the first 2/3 and then average in the final third. I just kind of felt like it dropped off quite a bit there. Construction was really good for mine, so I thought that was good. But yeah, it's kind of in that that mid-range sixes, so it's definitely a good cigar, something I'd smoke more of. People should check it out. It's not gonna it's not something that I'm just jumping for joy over, but it's definitely a good cigar. Any other final thoughts from you?
Yeah, it looks like Davidoff is. We'll see what the other master selects are like, but looks like Davidoff's going to be taken over my top 10 list.
Yep. Well, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. And you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.